What if your body came with an instruction manual, a real one? That's the huge radical question at the center of Kashif Khan's book, The DNA Way. And today, we're diving into his guide on how to unlock the secrets hiding in your genes to maybe reverse disease, slow down aging, and just feel your absolute best.
So Khan kicks things off with a pretty great question. Are you playing medical whack-a-mole? You know the game, right? A headache pops up, bam, you take a pill. An allergy flare-up, bam, you grab some cream. You're constantly whacking down these symptoms as they appear, but you never stop to ask, hey, why do these things keep popping up in the first place? It's this super frustrating cycle, and honestly, a lot of us are stuck in it and don't even know it.
And for the author, this wasn't some abstract idea. No, this was deeply, deeply personal. This quote, man, it really captures his rock bottom. Here he was, this successful entrepreneur who looked at a photo of himself and just didn't recognize the guy staring back. He saw someone who was overweight, battling all these health problems, and just felt totally empty. And that single moment, that was the spark that ignited his entire journey.
All right, so that brings us to our first section, which is all about what he calls the health maze. And it's exactly what it sounds like, that confusing, frustrating, endless search for answers that so many of us find ourselves trapped in.
You see, Khan's crisis wasn't just one single thing. It was a whole cascade of problems. He was overweight, dealing with these patches of burning eczema, getting intense migraines, and had zero energy. And even with all his success, he just felt adrift. But the thing that really haunted him, it was the memory of his dad, who died young from things like heart disease and diabetes, diseases Khan now is convinced were totally preventable. That family history, that became the fire, the fuel for his entire mission.
The book makes this fantastic point. Our whole approach to health is kind of like taking a sick plant and just painting its leaves green to make it look healthy. Think about it. We get a diagnosis, we get a pill to mask the symptom, but we almost never look down at the roots to figure out why the plant is sick to begin with.
And that leads us perfectly into the next part, the solution. This is what Khan calls your personal instruction manual. Okay, this is where the core idea of the book really starts to click. Seriously, just imagine that for a second. What if you had a unique blueprint, a guide that tells you exactly what your specific body needs to thrive, what you should eat, how you should move, what you need to stay away from? Well, the whole point of the book is that this blueprint, it's not some fantasy. It's real, and it's right there, inside every single cell in your body.
Okay, so the science behind all this is called functional genomics. I know it sounds super complicated, but don't let the name scare you. All it really is the study of how your genes actually function and how they interact with your everyday choices. You know, your food, your lifestyle, where you live. And here's the big mindset shift. It's not about the genes you were born with. It's about what those genes are doing right now.
And this is exactly why those one-size-fits-all diets, keto, vegan, paleo, you name it, so often just don't work for everyone. The Ultimate Health Guide isn't some trend you're going to find on the internet. It's already written inside you, in your DNA. The real goal is to figure out what works specifically for your unique body.
So, okay, how in the world do we actually do this? Well, our next section, Decoding Your Genes, is going to take us from all this theory straight into practice.
All right, so when Khan first got his genetic results back, this is literally what he saw. A jumble of letters and numbers that, let's be real, looks like alphabet soup. For most of us, this is completely meaningless. It's confusing, it's not helpful at all. But you gotta remember, this is just the raw code.
But this is where the magic happens. This is where that jumbled code gets translated into clear, useful insights. So for instance, his COMTG result, that's linked to how his brain handles dopamine. And that one piece of data helps explain why he's a killer entrepreneur and why he can't shut his brain off at night. All of a sudden, it's not just random letters. It's a user manual for his own brain.
Okay, so you have this amazing information. Now what? What do you actually do with it? That's exactly what our next section, From Code to Choice, is all about. This is where that knowledge turns into real power. This table pretty much sums up the entire shift in thinking. You're moving from just guesswork to making informed choices. Instead of just training harder, you're training smarter. Instead of just eating less, you're eating what's right for your genes. It's a total move away from one size fits all and into something that is 100% personalized. And check out this perfect real-world example from the book. There's this elite NHL prospect, right? He's doing everything by the book, training like a beast, eating super clean, but he just can't recover. He's always sore, always tired. So they look at his DNA and bam, there's the answer. His genes showed his body was terrible at clearing out inflammation and toxins from intense exercise. So, get this, the harder he trained, the worse he actually got. The solution? A specific supplement designed just for him to help his detox pathways. Problem solved.
So the whole path forward is broken down into 3 pretty simple steps. Step 1, you get the blueprint with a DNA test. Step 2, you analyze that blueprint to find the actual root cause of whatever's going on. And step 3, use all those insights to build a plan for diet, fitness, supplements that is completely customized to you.
And that brings us to our final, and I think most powerful section, the future of you. This is where we talk about shifting our entire mindset about what health and aging even mean. Now, the book makes a really bold claim here. It says that the things we've been taught to just accept as inevitable, chronic disease, the downsides of aging, they are not your destiny. He argues they are simply the long-term result of making choices that don't match your unique genetic blueprint. And this is really what it's all about. It's about stop being a passive passenger in your own health journey and getting into the pilot's seat. Once you understand your own blueprint, you can actually take the controls and steer your life toward a much healthier future.
So the big takeaway is this. Your genes are not a life sentence. They're a roadmap. They don't lock you in. They just show you the terrain ahead. They show you where the mountains are, where the rivers are, so you can navigate your journey a whole lot smarter.
And the book leaves us with this one final provocative question. It's almost audacious. What if you could change the day you die? And this isn't about living forever. It's about extending your health span. The number of years you feel great, vibrant, and alive. What if you actually had the power to make choices today that could fundamentally change the quality and maybe even the length of your life? It's a huge thought to chew on.